Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in a best of 3 series between Mousesports' Mana and TT1 here on Shakura's Plateau. TT1 spawning as the red Protoss player on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Mana spawning as the yellow Protoss player here on the top left hand side. So this is Protoss versus Protoss mirror match and series 3 in a best of 5 series. Essentially, Mousesports currently already has a 2-0 lead, but games or series 4 and series 5 will still be played even if Mana takes this game. Each best of 3 series is also a $250 show match, and we'll see whether or not TT1 will be able to keep the hopes of Fnatic alive. Taking a look at both builds currently coming into play so far, you can see Tosh pretty much setting up this pylon down over here. Same thing over here. So we have a true mirror match as chrono boosting now getting underway. TT1 with a slight advantage, about a half a second, or about 1 full second if you consider the chrono boost in there, and we'll see whether this will translate into a very effective advantage overall. We'll see if TT1 continues a chrono boost, or will he actually try to build up. No, he's going to continue to chrono boost and then get that gateway a little bit up later. Same thing coming in from Tosh as well, or not Tosh, Mana, as Mana being forced to play on the American servers, so hopefully we will not have any lag issues in this particular matchup. As you can now see, both players are now looking for cheese in a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match, especially on a map like this. Cheese is a definite possibility because you will always be able to spawn cross from your opponent. So pylon warping in down over here in order to get a gateway up on that high ground is rather popular, as you can now see another pylon coming into play over here by Tosh. Meanwhile, a pylon coming in by TT1, but TT1 a little bit behind there as the assimilator is now up and running. Oh, the probes are able to turn around, get some damage onto this probe. The probe already down to 20 hit points. As you now see, this one particular probe just continuing wandering around, trying to look for his opponent. Apparently, TT1 doesn't know that you can only cross-spawn on this version of Shakura's Plateau, the TSL version, as now you can see a probe just disrupting the mining. Just a very annoying disruption of that mining there, as that probe decides to finally back off. Perhaps we will be getting a Zealot out. A Zealot already coming out from Mana there, as this probe will be forced to run and get out of there in just a moment. He sees the double gas now. Tosh's Mana's double gas a little bit later, as we should also see that warp gate research now being chrono boosted out. We are getting another gateway back down over here as well, also getting a chrono boost on that cybernetics core, so that gateway will be up and running a little bit earlier, as another stalker now being trained up as well. This probe still wandering around that backside trying to run away, and Tosh only running off of 1 gateway so far, so that may be a bit of an issue. If units are actually going to make their way out from TT1, TT1 could try to start training up some stalkers well before that warp gate research completes, but the walking distances between the bases may be a bit of a problem. And now you can see Mana trying to chase away this probe there, that Zealot now making its way down, as we should be getting perhaps a proxy pylon here. That's the only reason why I would even imagine that we have Mana trying to set up something there. We are going to get a probe now trying to make its way back through. It looks like it will simply just get destroyed and picked off, as there is now only 1 stalker up on that high ground. We also see a Twilight Council warping into play, so it's going to be stalkers with Blink. Meanwhile, back over here, we already have 1 proxy pylon set up in play. Perhaps another one will be set down here in just a moment, as more and more units are being queued up and trained out. Tosh is going to be running off of 3 gates with that warp gate ability and able to warp in a lot of units momentarily. You can see a sentry also coming down into play. The probe looking to see what is in the middle of the field. There is 1 probe in the middle of the field right here, but that stalker blink is now getting started. We also have a robotics facility coming into play as well, so Immortal is going to be able to join in on the fight, and that is perhaps going to be good news for Mana. Mana will be able to Mana will be able to counter those stalkers with Immortals if he does train up an Immortal rather quickly. A proxy pylon is going to be set up though, and oh, not cleaning it up. That may be a bit of a problem, as TT1 should be able to blink or warp in stalkers here, and there might actually be enough room to gain sight up onto the high ground to blink straight up there. So that may be a nice, interesting play, as we're going to have a lot of stalkers down over here. That poor probe is going to get taken down rather quickly, and more stalkers being forced to push back here. Another pylon also set up here. Is it enough room? No, not enough room to actually gain sight across that chasm there, as the Stalkers are now making their way down. Another free proxy pylon gonna get shut down rather quickly. And is it gonna get destroyed? Both sides battling it out. And oh, there's that Guardian Shield. And oh, going after the units. And both sides pushing forward. It looks like the Stalkers are gonna get taken down very, very easily, one at a time. These Stalkers are going to have a bit of an issue there, as the Guardian Shield is no longer up, and this one Stalker also low on hit points as well. So, wow, TT1 getting a lot of mileage off of those Stalkers. They, however, need to turn around, as we are now also going into robotics facilities. More Stalkers coming out midfield, and going to be able to pick off units in midfield. So, a brilliant use of a proxy pylon to catch a couple of retreating Stalkers. That robotics facility, not training up any Immortals, going straight into a Colossus build, and that is going to be a problem once more. You can see sentries are now being added. There is an observer there, as the sentries are going to have a difficult time trying to get up onto that high ground. Perhaps the sentry is going to try to push their way up. Are they going to be able to blink up to that high ground? Are they even... What is TT1 doing? Finally blinking up to the high ground there, and now blinking the rest up onto that high ground. Both sides dealing a lot of damage, and you can see TT1 able to get onto that high ground and maximize his damage. The Colossus is... Immortals are now finally being trained, but TT1 doing a great job keeping those lower hit point Stalkers in the back. And Tosh or Mana now in trouble. That Immortal needs to be chrono boosted out, and wow, and that Immortal training up an Observer first, actually the wrong way to go. The Zealots now trying to engage. Probes also coming in as well. It looks like the Stalkers are just continuing to reinforce very, very well once more, as the Stalkers continuing to push their way in. And Immortal will be popping out, but it may be too little too late. Yeah, too much damage already being dealt. That Immortal getting off 1 kill, but oh, 2 kills, but now finally taken down. One poor sentry getting caught on the wrong side. It looks like it will get cleaned up, as a new round of Stalkers will be coming in just a moment. So more Stalkers coming into play. Army compositions, 1,000 versus 500, more than double in size. No Immortals being trained. That is a definite problem, as Mana lost a lot of his workers in that engagement, and now there's the GG by Mana. So Mana unable to deal with TT1's very aggressive blink play, and taking game 1 in this best of 3 series. Stay tuned for game 2, and we'll see if Mana will be able to force a game 3.